Dana with Empowered by Dana. Let's talk a little bit about a couple things on the ground as far as self-defense. Now, the ground is certainly not anywhere that we want to end up, right? However, we could end up there for a variety of reasons. When I was just at a training with my mentor, Tony Blauer, in October of this year, we were doing scenario training in the full high gear suit, so where we can really do some impact with each other. And a man and I were doing a scenario that Tony had shown us real life, an attack of a woman in an elevator. And what we do is we recreate those attacks. And the attack, everything was done, and I was backing away and I tripped over on the ground. There was, you know how sometimes in conference rooms you can plug in things on the ground. So there was one of those like outlets on the ground, and I tripped. And I heard some of the other, some of his team, I was already getting up. We're going to go over a fast, effective way to get up from the ground. And I heard them going, get up, meaning, don't break character and role, because what you practice, you will do out in real life, or you might do out in the real world. So what was great was it was very instinctual to hurry up and get up and to utilize the fast, effective way to get up. So we are going to start by coming down to the ground. Also, sadly, I know more than a handful of women where the attack started on the ground because their attacker had been someone they were in a relationship with, and so still had access to the house and got into the house while they were asleep. So you're already in a reclined position. So knowing stuff standing up as well as on the ground is very valid. The first thing that we're going to do are crunches in a form where if someone were on top of us, so a traditional crunch, we kind of just come here and tend to, of course, there are different ways to do things. We tend to kind of just stay in this one plane where most of life happens, called the sagittal plane. An attack is not going to be, it's never going to be clean. It's going to be all crazy at different angles. So I would encourage you to do some of these crunches at different angles, whether you're doing a traditional crunch with your hands here to give your neck some support, or if you're doing, we're going to put some self-defense into it. Remember, hands in front of the face presents a psychological barrier to the bad guy. It also helps to give us some weapons, whether that be our palm strike, our elbows, eye gouge, face rake, whatever it is. Hands here is a good place to have your hands. I get it though that this might be a little bit on your neck, like I feel it on my baby neck. But give me some crunches here at different angles. So you're coming off to the right, you're coming middle, you're coming left, maybe you're coming left again, maybe you're splitting that difference, back to the middle, right, far right, little bit less right, far left. Play around with those angles and add some variation in. And even just those few crunches, I can feel it. It warms up your core very quickly. In my opinion, especially when you're putting a scenario behind it. So you're thinking about something, thinking about, okay, this person that outweighs me is on top of me. However, I will never, ever, ever give up to keep myself, my family, who else might be in the house, your children might be in the house, to keep myself and my family safe. I will keep fighting if forced to meet force with force, and I have no other option. If I cannot exit stage left with my family and loved ones, then I will work and fight to protect myself. The next thing that we're going to go through is how to quickly and effectively get up from the ground. There is a method. I would recommend do a few of these, and this is something that I practice over and over in Krav Maga. And then Tony Blauer's Spear System, he also teaches this as part of his combat warm-up. I think that's what he calls it. I like to call it warrior warm-up. So here's how we're going to get up from the ground. I'm going to show you right side first, and I would also encourage you to practice both sides. We're still having our hands up in front of our face. to keep that psychological barrier. One leg lifted off the ground can afford you to kick. Our legs are generally going to be longer than his arms, so we have more distance there, and we're very strong in our legs, right? So that leg is lifted. What I'm now going to do, if say maybe I kicked or maybe he tripped, whatever the scenario is, I feel like I have time to get up now. So I want to get up quickly and effectively. I'm going to come to my right elbow. I'm still keeping that other hand up and protecting my face, psychological barrier, etc. Or if I have to come right back down, then I'm in my position. Same side, leg is up, the elbow that I'm on, still looking at my attacker. I come to face you a little bit more, still looking to see what's going to happen. Now come up to the hand, still looking at my attacker. Lift those hips up off the ground. This part takes a little bit of flexibility. Send that leg back as far as you can, and then get up from there and keep tabs on where your attacker is. Let's do one on the other side. If I'm here, if I'm a lefty, or not even if I'm a lefty, disregard that. We're practicing both sides. So I'm here, I'm like, okay, maybe I've done a kick, and that kick can be to the knee, to the groin, to the face, to all kinds, to the solar plexus, all kinds of areas. So maybe I've created some distance and I now feel like I have time to safely get up, keeping those hands up. One elbow is going to drop down so I can come onto that elbow, still keeping this other hand up. Now I'm going to come to the hand so I can get ready to lift my hips up, still looking at where my attacker is, because what if they come rushing back at me and I have to come back? Hand, other hand up. Lift hips up, send leg back as far as I can, keep tabs on where they are, hopefully get the heck out of there if I can. Those are great ways to get up. Does take a little bit of flexibility, and I do not have the most flexible hips at all. They do not like to do this external rotation. They don't like to do that. However, it is still possible. It is always possible, and remember that mindset that you will never, ever, ever give up. You are your first responder. You have the strength and the fortitude within you to keep yourself and your loved ones safe. Practice these, get your body warmed up, and I will see you on the next one.